If you have been trying to make sense of the UK housing market data for uh, late February 2026, you probably have a headache.
Yeah, honestly, a massive headache.
Right, because, I mean, we are looking at a market that is simultaneously breaking records and, well, dipping.
It really depends entirely on which chart you happen to be holding at the time.
Exactly. And we have a fresh analysis here from Money Week. It is by Daniel Hilton.
Yes, and he synthesizes all the major indices. And what it really highlights is this massive disconnect.
A disconnect between sentiment and actual completed sales, right?
Spot on. The market is sending out incredibly mixed signals right now.
So let's look at the bullish case first.
Yeah.
You have Halifax reporting that the average house price just hit $300,077,
Breaching the £300,000 mark for the first time ever.
which is a huge psychological barrier. If you only looked at that, you would think we were in a complete boom.
But then you look at the land registry and they show a 0.7% drop. That drags the average down to about £270,000.
So is one of them just wrong?
No, not wrong. The key here isn't about accuracy. It is all about the timeline.
Because land registry is the gold standard for accuracy, but it is looking in the rearview mirror.
Right. It reflects deals that were agreed 3 or 4 months ago, back when everyone was really nervous before Christmas.
While Halifax is giving us a much faster read on current approvals.
Exactly. And then Rightmove throws another variable entirely into the mix.
Oh, the asking prices? They saw asking prices jump 2.8% in January.
The biggest January rise in 25 years.
Yeah, but that feels like a classic post-Christmas sugar rush to me.
It definitely is. Sellers came out of the holidays feeling ambitious. They slapped high stickers on homes, even if buyers are not actually signing at those levels.
Because that gap between asking price and actual sold price is where the real friction is right now.
Sellers are optimistic, but buyers are still heavily constrained.
Constrained, but maybe less terrified than they were last year. The mortgage market seems to have finally found its floor.
We are seeing 2-year fixes hovering around 4.83% right now.
And 5-year deals are at 4.95%.
Right. It is nowhere near the 2.5% free money days of 2021.
No, definitely not.
But the market has accepted this as the baseline. Volatility was the real killer.
So now that rates have stabilized, people can actually budget with some confidence.
Exactly. The improved sentiment isn't coming from cheap money, it is coming from the removal of uncertainty. But the fascinating part is where that money is actually flowing.
This was the biggest surprise in the data for me.
Yeah.
If you are sitting in London waiting for the rebound, you are looking in the wrong direction.
Completely the wrong direction.
The real heat is in Northern Ireland. The growth there is just staggering.
Prices went up 9.7% in 2025 alone.
And if you zoom out to the start of 2020,
Northern Ireland is up 45%.
wow.
Yeah, that is roughly £60,000 added to the value of a typical home. It is a massive rotation of capital.
Because London and the south of England have essentially hit an affordability ceiling. Buyers simply cannot borrow enough to push prices any higher.
Right. Whereas Northern Ireland, and to a lesser extent places up north, still had headroom.
And it is interesting that the ceiling in the south might get reinforced by policy, too.
Yeah.
We had the higher stamp duty threshold introduced last April in 2025.
And now the looming mansion tax.
Right, the new tax on 2 million plus homes kicking in by 2028.
That tax is getting a lot of headlines, but purely by the numbers, it only affects about 1% of the housing stock.
Still, it adds another psychological cap on that upper end of the market.
Which just reinforces why the momentum is shifting to more affordable regions.
So if the south is flat and the north is booming, what is the composite picture for the rest of 2026?
Basically, boring but healthy.
I think buyers will take boring but healthy.
Most experts, Nationwide, Zoopla, Savills, they're all predicting modest growth.
Somewhere between 1.5% and 4%, right?
Yes. Which is actually great news because wage growth is finally forecast to outpace house price growth.
So for the first time in a long time, homes might actually get slightly more affordable in real terms.
Exactly. And Savills thinks this is just the warm-up phase.
The calm before a steady rise.
Yeah. They are predicting stronger growth between 4 and 5.5%, closer to the 2027 to 2030 window. We are really just in a thawing phase right now.
The ice is definitely thawing.
Yeah.
But that leaves you, the listener, with a bit of a gamble.
It really does.
Because Zoopla says there are 6% more homes on sale now than this time last year. So you have more choice today
but rates are still hovering near that 5% mark.
Exactly. So do you buy now while you have the negotiating power of a buyer's market
Or do you wait for interest rates to drop, maybe by summer?
and risk getting into a massive bidding war when everyone else jumps back in and totally erases that advantage?
That is the million-pound question right there.
And one you will have to weigh carefully. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.